Who's telling us? Who's trying to ruin our Wyatt Langford fun?
Oh, who's a big old wet blanket in the landscape of MLB coverage?
John Heyman.
Ooh, close. No, this is the Mr. Analytics wet blanket. This is Keith Law.
Oh, yeah, he is a wet blanket.
Keith Law's really good, but he knows he's good.
He's snarky,
and that's what I don't like. So Keith Law is a big fan of Wyatt Langford and had been hyping him up for a long time leading up to the draft. And he did a Q&A on The Athletic the other day where they just listed a bunch of, hey, here's some burning questions, specifically with a fantasy baseball tie-in. But they had asked about Wyatt Langford, and they said, hey, that seems to be everyone's fantasy darling this preseason. Your number 6 prospect. He's being taken in the top 90 in most drafts this month. Do you remember to send this rapid in your time prospecting? And Keith Law says, I'm a big Langford fan. Had him as the number 1 prospect in last year's draft class before his unfortunate injury he suffered. Although Dylan Cruz was also pretty worthy of the top spot. And this is where he wants to tap the brakes a little. He says, I do think the hype around Langford has become so much that he's going to have a hard time living up to it. He's a future superstar, but even future superstars can struggle in their first attempts to hit major league pitching, and Langford has so little experience at any single stop in pro ball that he hasn't had to face pitchers 2 or 3 times and go through the typical adjustments that happen when you're in the same league for a couple of months.
God, what a wet blanket. Are you serious? Well, thanks for being Captain Obvious, by the way. Yeah, he's probably not going to live up to all the hype right now. Enjoy it. And enjoy it. Bask in it.
Yeah.
You may have Mike Trout 2.0. You probably don't, but you might.
On Trout,
even something better, someone who can actually walk for an entire baseball season and not get hurt.
And that's the problem.
But you agree with this? You don't like all the hype.
I agree because
you're a wet blanket.
It's not even. I don't consider not liking the hype being a wet blanket because it's impossible. Wemby will never match the hype.
He could. LeBron did.
He would have to be the greatest basketball player in history to match that. LeBron matched the hype.
And he's the second.
But how many people actually do match the hype?
Very rare.
And the difference is that LeBron and
go ahead.
LeBron and Wemby, they were hyped before they even got on the field, even in preseason.
Let me explain to you, blankets, why you need to change your perspective. If Wyatt Langford didn't have this hype, I wouldn't give a rat's ass what's happening in Surprise, Arizona right now, except for what restaurants Jared Sandler is finding that are hole in the walls. The anticipation now for opening day is that much. He's the number 1 draw for me on opening day.
I totally agree.
And that's because of the hype. He's the number 1 Texas Ranger draw for me, period, to start off this year.
Right.
I know you got gold uniforms that everyone was standing in line for and sweatshirts and gear and all that yesterday. That's what hype does.
It does, but there's a difference between hype and then overhype. And even overhype, even if it's warranted. We were hyped about Wyatt Langford at the end of last year. Then the Mike Trout comparison came into play, and it's all right, now we've hit a point where you've put him in a category where you've left him very little margin for error to reach that hype and to be able to have us be satisfied with the hype and where he is and where he gets to.
Keith Law made that comparison before the draft. It wasn't even what he was doing in Texas yet. He made that comparison as
I know,
draft.
that's just dangerous. You should never say when somebody's coming out, who's his player comp? LeBron James. No. Don't do that.
Player comps are fun.
They are fun.
You didn't like the Tiger, so you hated the Tiger hype. You weren't more excited to watch Tiger's first Masters because of all that hype. Of course you were.
Tiger was already on tour though. He was already on tour at the first match.
Okay, no, but yes, before Tiger started on the PGA Tour, he was hyped as the next.
He was absolutely hyped. He absolutely met it. He's another one that's met it. Very few people have met it. He absolutely met it. But yeah, it's when you just anoint somebody, it's okay.
Michelle Wee, Freddie Adu, I know their names because of the hype.
Yeah, but they didn't match it.
But I don't care. So what? They didn't match it. You're gonna match it or not? I don't feel bad for freaking Freddie Adu because he got called Pele. I don't feel bad for him. Well, that's who you're giving sympathy towards. So what? They didn't match the hype. It's freaking sports. So then we sit in the bar and be he didn't match the hype. It's not gonna mess up my day. It's not going to ruin things for me.
It's not messing up a day. It's just when you overhype somebody, you get a feeling like it's a letdown if they don't match it. And then I just don't want to. I just want to enjoy Wyatt Langford and not like
Well,
be
you can enjoy it.
wondering
That's
if I'm
personal.
being let down.
That's
or not.
personal choice.
Yeah, look-
don't let
That's
don't
right.
let people control you. I thought that you were all about that.